It's time to take command with former NFL tight end Logan Paulsen and former Commanders beat reporter Craig Hoffman.
Take Command podcast from Odyssey Sports. I'm Craig Hoffman. He is Logan Paulsen. The next voice you hear, our producer, Nick Verlansky, with our next Mailbag question.
On Twitter, Strictly Speaking asked, with the rumor the Steelers are in on trading for Chase Young, what would the return need to be to not feel like we completely failed with him and gave up for almost nothing?
I love this question because it's such an interesting hypothetical. I don't know anything about the Steelers rumor, so we'll just kind of ignore that part of the question, Logan. But like, what's the Chase Young trade that you say yes to right now? Because there's philosophically, like, do you cut your losses? Are you selling low? There's like a lot of kind of game theory, stock asset management type of thought that goes into this. And then there's just like what you think of the football player. And obviously we've now seen Chase have a pretty good mini camp. So is there a deal that you would say yes to at this point? And the last, kind of factor I'll throw into this is, of course, he and Montez are both up at the end of the year. And there's kind of a logistics of salary cap and getting people done and how you build your roster that goes with all of this as well.
I mean, obviously there's a deal that I'm like, oh yeah. Like if someone says, oh, we'll give you a first round pick, I don't even think twice about it. Yes.
So
boom.
Just straight up one for Chase Young, done.
Get out of here. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's one. And then even if they gave me a second, I would think about it. But I think it's important for people to understand, like, he has not, like, just because he had one good minicamp practice, teams are not going to negate what he's done the last 3 years here. They're not going to be like, oh, wow, minicamp looked good. All right. Well, he has that crazy injury history, and he hasn't played good since his rookie, like really, really at a high level. And there's injury. There's a whole bunch of stuff affecting that. But he hasn't played really good since his rookie year. So to me, I'm like, if I'm a GM and I'm looking at Chase, the most I'm going to give is a third-round pick. The most I would give is a third-round pick because the risk associated with it, right? And if I'm the Commanders, I'm like, absolutely not. Because if Chase, a motivated Chase, is ready to go, he's going to play better than a third-round pick. And if he plays really well and we can't re-sign him, we're going to get a third-round comp. So it's like, why would I do anything unless it's a crazy price deal to get him out of here, is my thought.
That is 100% where I'm at, is if you want to give me something that is worth what he would be worth if he was good, we can talk. Right. And that has a lot to do with roster construction of like, okay, well now I know my focus is going to be on re-signing Montez Sweat. I don't have this like year-long, who am I signing, whatever. It's like, we're going to franchise Montez, and then we're going to pay him a bunch of money next year, assuming that he has another very solid year. I know what Chase has been the last couple of years, and he has been so frustrating in so many ways, from his play to the OTAs or not showing up, and some of his comments around some of that stuff, whatever. But his potential is just still so high, and he's still so young that I just find it hard to give up on that. And I know some fans are ready to push him out the door. Others are like Team Chase forever and can't believe we're even having this discussion. But realistically, somewhere in the middle is this reality that his upside is extremely high. His current value is low. Selling low is bad. Buying low is good. And the Commanders are the seller. So if I'm another team, I might, like, if I'm the Steelers, I might mess around with that second round pick. Maybe not if I'm the Steelers, because I've already got Watt and, whatever. But if I'm another team and I think Chase can still be Chase, like what we thought Chase would be coming out of Ohio State, like, would I give up a second rounder for the guy who went second overall? Yeah, I probably would do that. And that's why if I'm the Commanders, I'm like, I don't know, like a second rounder, is that enough for me, for the guy that I still think can be really good and can, by the way, this year in a must-win year, if I'm Ron Rivera, and by the way, we always talk about it with Rivera, but like if I'm Mayhew, like I'm not exactly looking to make trades that are making me worse this year. I want to, like, he's on the line. His job is on the line too, maybe even more than Rivera's in some ways. Cause a lot of people think that, I know there's a question about this later, but like a lot of people think Ron might be pushing to get into a GM, more of a GM role. So there's just like Chase being great or even being really good makes this defense potentially great this year.
Right.
And so if I'm the Commanders, I probably just hold on for the ride and think of it less in terms of asset management and think about it more of what makes my football team good right now. And Chase Young being a productive football player is the best thing for my football team right now. So I'd probably just do that.
Absolutely. And again, if something crazy happens, like if someone's like, I'll give you a first and a fifth, I'm like, cool. Yeah,
Done.
let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Make it right now.
Yeah.
Don't even think twice about it. But I don't think whatever the Steelers are considering offering for him is definitely not in that kind of area, right?
Sure.
It's like maybe a second, maybe. And that I would consider. I would consider a second round pick. It just depends on where I think Chase is at mentally. And I don't talk to Chase, like the way Ron does. Obviously, he's around the building. Chase is an awesome guy to talk to. But, like they have a better understanding of where he's at in terms of meetings and his mindset.
Sure.
But, you're always, especially now, like you're going to get a comp pick for him if he does walk, if he's good. And if he's good, that means you're doing really good. You've got a top 5 defense,
Right.
So is the difference between that second and third round comp enough for me to outweigh the value that Chase's upside? Probably not,
No.
Probably not. So,
the last thing I'll add on this one is if they are not having a good year, middle of the year, and someone wants to offer a second or even a third, that's going to be at the top of the third versus the bottom of the third. Although I guess it'd probably be a winning team that's going for it, so there wouldn't be too high. But point is, like middle of the year, if you're not good, go ahead and sell. Like at that point, be smart about it. You do the asset management play because he's not going to help you long term at that point. But for right now, with a full season ahead, like people just want to throw away this season. Like, no, you only get so many of these. Like, take the season, play it out, try to be good, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching this clip of Take Command. First, why don't you like it? It lets other people know that it was good, and then they should watch it too. And Logan, we have a new exclusive home for full episodes.
We do. 1067 The Fans YouTube page. Go check it out and please subscribe.
Yeah, do what Logan said.
Do it.
Very, very smart.